When I was a very young woman, maybe 52, 53, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do stand-up? And then I thought, I know exactly what I want to do. I want to do it in some place like North or South Dakota. I was thinking of the winter in a VFW hall. I didn't count on anybody being sober in the crowd. And so somehow, Benjamin, where are you? Someone asked me, why are you doing this? And I said, Benjamin asked me, be wary of this man. Be wary. So everybody knows, and I've heard this, I've been studying comedy, they all say the same thing. The best time to start is when you're 77 years old. So here goes. The eyes are on you. I want to talk about the volunteers first, because I know about you, and I know what kind of people you are. You're the kind of people that actually return shopping carts. But I also know what your love language is. And your love language is when someone says, sure, I'll sign your petition. The other thing that really excites you, and Benjamin said to keep this clean, and I am Benjamin, is when, no, now you tell me, is when the polling comes in and you hear the words, strongly support. That's another clue that you've got a great volunteer. But what I want to eventually find out from you volunteers is how do you do this without really good orthopedic shoes, and what do you wear? So is there a medication that lets you absorb the rejection? And if there is, I'd like some. But here's the other exciting thing for me personally, is there's something called the buddy system. And I don't know if you all know about this. Some of you are already involved, but if you haven't, I personally am a single gal. I've tried Match.com. I am a total loser. Wait, I'm dyslexic. Loser. But here's the deal with the buddy system. They will match you with someone who meets your needs. And what I'm looking for is a guy 65 to 85, preferably ambulatory, but not necessarily. And I want a man who knows his way around a clipboard. Because a man who knows his way around a clipboard knows how to ask for what he wants. He can deal with controversy, and he can take rejection. Sorry. Anyway, so they'll match you up. It's the safest dating system in the state of Missouri. So, once you've got your buddy, I want you to think about something we've been thinking about all night. Puppies. How many of you love puppies? Yes, we've got a group of puppy lovers. Some of you will remember this very well and are still in a recovery program. This gentleman back here, raise your hand. He's still in that 12-step. How many steps have you done so far? Yes. Yes, he's still in the 12-step recovery program. What happened in 2010 is there was Proposition B. And we voters are so stupid. Oh my gosh, I don't know what we were thinking. Because we thought that maybe puppies should have veterinary care. Whoa. And maybe this should be regulated. And maybe they should have a little more space. And maybe their mommies, I didn't use the word. their mommies shouldn't be bred over and over and over. And so as foolish voters, we didn't know any better, and we voted against puppy mills. And here's the thing about puppy mills, and this should go on our license plate. The state of Missouri is the national headquarters for what? Puppy mills. We are ground zero for mistreating dogs. It should go on our frigging license plates, and we should be ashamed of it. But what we didn't understand is that I don't know why we didn't think of this. It costs money for veterinary care. And so the breeders went to Jeff City, and I'm not saying any money crossed hands. I would never say that. But they thought, oh, that's cute. You like puppies, but you don't understand. So we're going to repeal this. And that ticks me off, big time. My mother was a German immigrant. She lived through Nazi Germany. And one of the things she told us when we were children is you always have to vote. I remember the day she got her citizenship. I was 5 years old. And she said, if you don't vote, you don't belong in this country. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my mom. My mom, just to put it in context, my mom also said you can't marry everyone you sleep with. No comment. Anyway, voting is sacred, but it's also can be so much fun. When I used to go to vote at Reed School, and Reed School? Yeah, we grew up on the mean streets of Ladue. I own it. It would take 3 or 4 hours because take 2 minutes to vote. I mean, no problem getting through the vote. But the gossip, oh my gosh. We are talking about, does anybody know Andy Cohen? We are talking about the Real Housewives of Ladue. It was amazing. Sally would say, do you think those are Judy's original foods? I'd say, no, I think they're bigger. And then someone would say, I heard Marcia and Larry are getting a divorce. What happened? Marcia, I think, ran off with a pool boy. No, it was Larry. I mean, it was just so much fun. And if I were a fundraiser, which I am, I would have had an open bar. But the Ladue School District said no. But we could have stayed there all night. It was amazing. And I love to go to vote. But not everyone's experience with voting is so wonderful. And I had an experience a little over a year ago where my husband was terminally ill. And he said, I want to go to vote. And it was his last outing out of our condo. And I took our helper, Jerome, and we put Frank in a wheelchair. And the voting place is just around the corner. And it took us an hour and a half. And he was in so much pain. He had spinal stenosis. He had bed sores, and I'm not going to go on any further. He was in terrible pain. And Jerome and I kept saying, are you sure you want to do this? I said, sweetheart, Jerome didn't. And he said, yes, it's important. And he voted. And we got him back home, and we got him in bed. And I gave him some morphine. And he woke up a few hours later, and he didn't know who I was. And I said, sweetheart, how are you? And he said, this was a good day. I voted. Do you think the vote of a dying man should be counted? Yes. I freaking well do. See, I didn't say it, but you thought I was going to say it. But in fact, it does matter. And it has to matter because people die to vote. We need to vote, and our votes need to be counted. Our votes, according to Jeff City, it's like ordering a salad and the waiter goes, "Oh, good choice." And then he brings you fried chicken with hush puppies. And he said, "This is what you really want. This is what you need." Because they just ignore you. And that's not okay. And now I want to talk about everybody's favorite topic, money. We can't do it without some money. We don't need buckets of money. We've got this amazing volunteer group. Amazing. But we need staff. We need staff. And we have to pay staff. And they have to be there to support our volunteers. Because it's all about respecting Missouri voters. And who knows more about respect than Aretha? Okay, you want to dance with me? Come on, Aretha. Where's the music?